This is John.
This is Danny.
Welcome to Do You Know?
All right. So, what's going on?
Okay, so I have this analogy that someone gave me about the vaccination, and I want to get your opinion on it, okay? So someone said that the vaccination for COVID is kind of like when they rolled out seatbelts. So first, when they rolled out seatbelts, you just had a belt around your lap. And they told people this won't prevent car crashes. This just will prevent you from dying in a car crash. Then the booster was when they added the shoulder belt. And people were like, you keep changing it. But they're like, no, this makes it safer. So with that knowledge, I think I'm going to get the booster.
Interesting. Are you going to wait for the Omicron?
I am. I'm waiting for the Omicron version. But when they put it that way, I was like, yeah, I'm down with that because seatbelts don't prevent you getting COVID, if you will. Or, the vaccination doesn't prevent you getting COVID, but it prevents you from getting launched through the front windshield. That's the whole point of the vaccine. The vaccine prevents it from being something where you're hospitalized. And I think that there's a lot of misinformation on the internet as to what the vaccine is supposed to do and what the booster is supposed to do. It's not supposed to prevent you from catching it. It's supposed to prevent you from getting severely sick. And I think that as we go along, and COVID supposedly goes down, it'll still be there.
But do you think the data out of the countries that are ahead of us, because we were not the first country to vaccinate, do you think the data supports that analogy about as many, like, let's say, for example, the people who have 0 shots, 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots? In your opinion, not knowing if you've actually seen any actual data,
I'll cut you off right there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any data. I just trust. I trust scientists more than the average person. So if people tell me something, if the government tells me something, I don't believe in a giant conspiracy.
But I'm saying if I showed you a chart,
Yeah.
that is not a biased chart,
Right.
that would show you per 100,000 kappa,
Yeah.
in different countries, the deaths from the 0 shot people, 1 shot, 2 shot, and 3 shot people.
Right.
Who do you think out of that group has the most deaths per 100,000?
Right, but here's the thing, right? You have to ask yourself, why are people with 4 levels of comorbidity, overweight, heart problems, lung problems, high blood pressure, of course they're going to get 3 shots. So those are the people who are dying, people with 4 or more comorbidity situations. So that's why you're dying. And of course, you're going to get 3 shots if you can. But the 3 shots, so back to the seatbelt analogy, people still die with the seatbelt on.
Okay, but do you think it's, like if we were going to pick a demographic, do you think it's older people getting the 3rd shot or younger people getting the 3rd shot?
I think it's older people getting the 3rd shot.
See, and I think it's younger people because most of the people that I know who got the 2nd shot were like, hell no, I'm not getting a 3rd shot.
I think that, when I heard on the radio, the reason why I didn't get the 3rd shot is they said, if you're 65 or older, you should get the 3rd shot. If you're not, you really don't need it. That's what I heard on the radio. There was like an ad for it. So I was like, okay, I don't need it. Now they've changed it. And so again, just like when they added the shoulder belt, it's a change. It's saying like, oh, new data supports that this is safer for you as opposed to just a lap belt. But I'm like, okay, it's changed. It's new information.
I hear the point. I'd say the only difference is the scientists say that the shot only lasts for 10 weeks. So I'm saying if you're going to invest in 10 weeks of body armor that fades after 10 weeks. Is it really worth it for a healthy young man?
And what I'm saying is, people should be dropping dead of the shot by now. By now, we should see, because it's been a year, right? So we should see all of these complications from the vaccine. We should see all of these, heart murmurs, and we should see all these deaths. We don't see any of that. So I question whether there's a high risk from the vaccine. I don't see it. And again, I didn't avoid the booster because I feared for my life or I feared for my immunity. I just heard on the radio from the CDC that I didn't need it. They said people over 65 should get it. Now I'm hearing something different, but I am waiting for the one for Omicron. So I don't want to get the booster and then have the Omicron one available, and then I can't get that one because I already had the booster, and it's only in March.
But the Omicron wave is over, and now it's the Omicron. They call it the silent Omicron now.
You know what?
That's the new one. It's B102 or something like that, and they said it's 1.5 times more contagious than the old version. But I have this chart, and I just got it actually sent to me from family members who are probably listening to the show. So shout out to them. And what was strange, we were actually having an email back and forth, and we have people in the family who are fully vaccinated and boosted. We have people in the family who don't have shots. We have people in the family who have one, etc. And one thing that everyone could agree on out of reading these charts, because again, we had to try to figure out how do you read these charts, this information.
Right.
Was that the ratio of people who had 2 vaccines had the highest mortality rate out of the group, and people with the booster had the least. But the question that came up was, is it still the honeymoon period? And as we move forward in a year from now, will the group who had the 3rd shot, the ratio, be more than the 2nd shot in the future? Because the 2nd shot leads the ratio of mortality above unvaccinated and one shot based on these charts from around the world.
Right.
So I'm just saying it's just some data. So that was my concern was that. But like you said, we're not hearing about all these people and athletes and people in the government and policemen and firefighters. The only stories I'm actually hearing are people who didn't get the vaccine who are dying from COVID. Right.
And like I said, we're not hearing about like pure vaccine complications. I don't see where people are having a problem with the vaccine. Like, we should be seeing some problems from the vaccine by now, according to what the concerns were originally. Like, originally, there were concerns that the vaccine would cause, problems with the immune system, and it would cause problems with your heart and reproductive system, but there haven't been any problems.
Well, they said it does the cycle for females. It does add an extra day to their period. So that was something that they had some research for, which the women I know give a big thumbs down for that. I don't think they want an extra day of that. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And what's nice is I still think it should be everyone's choice, and I think the Supreme Court recently voted that it is illegal for the government to mandate large companies into forcing vaccinations onto their workers.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think it goes back to my body, my choice.
Right.
Because once you start telling people it's your body but our choice, it's a slippery slope, because why, we could go right back into abortion and all these other things. So Moderna got FDA approval either today or yesterday. So they are now officially, like they changed their status to match Pfizer.
Okay.
So they are FDA approved vaccination. So what that means is people can get it with the confidence that they're good for us based on the criteria that we use to approve medication in our country.
Okay.
So that's a good step forward.
Yeah.
Because that means it's passing that protocol. So like you said, if it's passing the protocol, then it should be good for us. And it really just depends on, people's bodies. There's people who are allergic to peanuts, but other people, peanuts are like power, energy. They love peanuts. Right. So it's just everybody's different. So kind of shifting over, there was a record that was broken, and I don't think the listeners know about this.
Okay.
There was a lightning strike that lasted for 17 seconds.
Wow.
The longest lightning strike known since they've been keeping records. The old record was 16.3. And this was in a huge storm out in the sea, and they were able to see it through one of our global satellites. I have a picture of it.
Yeah.
And the distance that the lightning bolt traveled was 460 miles.
Wow.
So it's something to think about, that the capacity of a lightning bolt, a surge, can be 460 miles.
Yeah.
And can last for 17 seconds. This isn't the lightning I grew up with.
No, man. That's a long time. Wow.
That's a long time.
So basically you're saying the lightning, it took 17 seconds from the cloud all the way to the water, and it took that much time to travel, and it just stayed like a...
I don't know about traveling. I just know that was the distance that it did travel.
And it just stayed connected. It was just like...
Exactly. It just stayed connected for 17 seconds in the storm.
Wow.
So that would be wild if you were out at sea.
Yeah. Old sailors, would have these stories about like giant squids and mermaids and all this stuff. And so you hear stuff like this, like a 17-second lightning bolt. And, this is the stuff they would have seen, and they probably would have made up stories about stuff like this.
Yeah, like it was Zeus.
Right, exactly. Throwing lightning bolts and stuff. Yeah, hurling lightning bolts.
Lasting forever.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. The other thing that's happening that's pretty interesting is SpaceX has lost control of a rocket that's traveling 1,500 miles an hour approximately. They can't stop it. It has no self-destruct mechanism.
Oh, wow.
It is going in its trajectory. It's imminent that it's going to hit the moon and blow up.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have rocket explosion in the next week or so, I believe, on the moon.
Oh.
So I wonder what that means moving forward. So we're going to have this huge rocket with all of its components.
Yeah.
Basically on a Martian... I'm not going to call the moon a planet. It's a moon.
It's a moon.
But what does that mean for whatever fields are connected? Like, we know we use the gravity from the moon. It reflects the light from the sun. Does having, gasoline and computer chips and different things, does that change anything mathematically?
I don't think so, because the moon is fairly large. I think, just having seen a picture of the lander that landed on the moon, when they were playing golf on the moon, the thing, the moon seems like a very large entity. So I think you could probably blast, and that's what the craters are, actually. The craters are like when asteroids have hit the moon. So this just might create like a giant crater. in the moon, just blast off a bunch of moon rock and dust and just make another crater in the moon.
How about the little bit of human oils and DNA and things that are on the ship, and they go into the crater,
right?
And now you have some kind of, bacteria. I mean, it's impossible to have zero.
Right. Well, the moon doesn't have an atmosphere.
Right.
So the problem would be you would have to have the kind of bacteria that could survive in space, and there's very few. Like there's I'm blanking on the name of it, but there is a bacteria that can survive in space. They've done studies with it. I think it's called a tardin or something like that. But for the most part, like all human biology requires moisture. It requires water. And that can only exist on Earth so far that we know of.
But I thought the way we arrived on this planet was through...
Well, we don't know how we arrived.
Well, I'm saying it's one of the theories was that...
Is that, like a comet or like an asteroid.
Landed in the ocean,
right.
And we turned into fish and monkeys. I mean, evolution. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen. What I'm saying is there a possibility that we could create the start of evolution on the moon,
right?
With some species that does the, nurture, nature, like strongest survive,
right?
Somehow with the data.
Well, when I've seen them prepare rockets, they're usually dressed like astronauts. I mean, they cover themselves in, these sort of gloves and robes and head coverings. So, because all the dust, anything that you could possibly have that would affect a rocket can throw it off course or create an explosion. So I wouldn't imagine that there's too much on the rocket because they prepare it in very sanitary conditions because of that situation. They don't want to have contamination in space. Like that's something that they do think about.
But even when the rocket gets to the upper atmosphere, it hits moisture. And the moisture could have bacteria in it.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think bacteria is all around us. It's in the air.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just interesting that it's on this collision course. They lost control of it. It's gonna detonate on the moon.
Yeah.
And that's just another thing that's happening in space. Also, China wants to send 15,000 satellites.
Wow.
In the next 5 years into our upper atmosphere.
Whenever I hear numbers like that, because I think Elon Musk sent like 23,000 or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, how do we have like space for all this? Like, I mean, it just seems like it must be so crowded. Our globe of satellites must be just so jam-packed that they don't run into each other.
Well, that's what they do run into each other, and that's why we have so much debris now. That recently, they were concerned that it was going to hit the space station because there's so much flying debris, and everyone's worried about that. They don't know how to clean the space junk yet, and you have the astronomer community very upset because they can't actually see out of the planet into space anymore because the satellites are blocking their view and changing the light.
Right. That's what I heard, yeah.
Right, so the more that we put above us, the harder it's going to be to get out of here. I mean, they want to do space tourism. I even saw a company that is designing the first lunar hotel that's going to be right above the atmosphere, and it's going to have its own gravity, so it's going to rotate, and you basically would have a pod, and it would have like a nightclub, it would have restaurants, and you'd go to this hotel basically and hang out in your pod.
Yeah.
And they're like starting to figure out how to build it. They've even located on Mars a cliff, like a mountainside.
Yeah.
And they've
So
already
good
started
view.
designing the pods of what they want to build for the first Mars community.
What do you think would be a fair price for something like that? For like a 2-night, a 3-day, 2-night stay, or well, first of all, what would be the minimum amount of time that you'd have to stay? You'd have to stay at least a week, right? Because like it wouldn't be worth it to go for 2 days. So you'd have to go for like a month or a week or something.
Probably at least 7 to 10 days. It'd be like a cruise.
Right.
It would be exciting just to go to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is going to be in LA in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The cheapest tickets are $5,800.
Yeah.
That's like the long shot tickets. Like you're not even in the stadium. You're in your car in the garage
right.
watching it. $5,800. So I would think that going to space would be 100 times that.
Right.
Because they can mark it up for like the pod that only gets a little bit of air. It's like it's a little stuffy.
Right.
That one's 580,000.
And then you got to probably train a little bit to be an astronaut, you know what I mean? Or, I mean, I'm assuming, right? You'd have to go through a little bit of a training process to do it. So, it'd probably be like $100,000 to...
I think there'd be a lot of lawsuits too, because doesn't that affect the disabled community? Because now there's a hotel that doesn't have access.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
No, they probably figure out a way. Like if you were a disabled billionaire, they're gonna have a way to get you there. Like money eases all, greases all palms.
But is that money really good in space? Like what I mean is, does the currency change? Like when I fly to Israel, for example, or another country,
yeah,
the dollar changes a little bit.
I see what you're saying. So they'd have moon money, you're saying?
Well, they would have to have some kind of world dollar, because you'd have people from all over the world,
right? And
coming there.
I come with yen, you come with shekels, you come with dollars, and it's like, I want to buy a soda.
Exactly. You can't just swipe your credit card.
Right.
I mean, or maybe you can. I don't know. Would they really be able to swipe your credit card and charge it from there?
So they come up with a moon dollar. Yeah. That's interesting.
You'd probably have to make, some kind of deposit into the hotel.
For like spending cash.
You'd have credits.
No, it would be like a cruise. It would be, so basically you would pay for an all expenses paid. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
So you would pay, and then everything would be taken care of. Because, there's no way that they would be able to do that. Because in some cultures, it's like a 3-to-1 exchange rate.
Right.
So, there's no way that they'd be able to do that. So you'd have to pay for everything up front.
Yeah, and I wonder, when you go on an airplane, they show you how to, like, in case of a water landing.
Right.
And this is how your seatbelt works. Do you think there would be some kind of video on the rocket of, like, okay, if it's not working out, this is what we're going to do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There'd be, like, probably like a jet escape with a parachute, and then you'd put on, like, a helmet that has, like, oxygen on it, you'd like parachute back to Earth, and then if you get stuck in space, it's probably like a capsule, and then they'll come and pick you up, in the capsule, and you'd just be floating there,
I mean, are humans really ready for this? I don't think we are.
Well, that's why that's why they're going to make it so expensive that the average person who would probably mess it up doing some kind of stupid stuff for TikTok. Like, oh man, I'm going to yell fire in the middle of the, or doing something stupid.
Yeah.
They're going to like eliminate those people and keep it for the expensive people who have more rational thinking.
Yeah, I feel like we're moving, and when I say we, I'm talking about the human race. And again, I'm not the leader or anything. I feel like the direction we're going too hard in the paint. You know what I mean? Too soon.
Yeah.
I was watching this company, and they have a demo of their new, basically robots, and they have robots now that can install walls.
Oh.
And they're very efficient.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting watching this robot build a house, all the walls, and lay the brick and mortar outside as well, in the concrete. And they're doing it in half the time it would take humans.
Yeah.
And without error.
Yeah.
They eliminated complete error.
Nice.
Everything is like pinpoint. So I'm wondering, with all this new technology and the flying vehicles and the drones, all the stuff that's happening, what are we really going to look like as a civilization in 10 years?
Well, I mean, we just have to look 10 years back, and we can see that, all that's really changed is that we have a lot more online situations. So I think that we know that Facebook is now Meta. So it does seem that people are probably, and we know that the whole civilization can be shut down and be put inside due to a coronavirus. Mm-hmm. So it is possible for society to change rather dramatically over a short period of time. So
that's the gamble with the metaverse.
Right.
I actually have a friend right now who owns some property in the metaverse that he purchased. And what's interesting is he had kind of an outline of the different areas.
Yeah.
And he felt like the place where he bought his property might be one of the upper class neighborhoods in the future. But right now, when you're buying your real estate, you don't really know what areas are going to be nice and what areas could be run down, or where the shopping's going to be, or the food. Right now, it's just kind of a big, huge map.
Wow.
And companies are buying businesses.
Yeah.
And paying real money.
Yeah.
I mean, real estate prices on some of this stuff.
Right, for like virtual.
And they're literally buying it, and they're going to have to pay taxes, and they want to make it very lifelike.
Yeah.
So, is it a good idea to invest in the metaverse now while it's cheap? You can get property cheap now.
Well, look at Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin was like $14 at one point, and now it's like now it's like 30,000. But I mean, still, I mean, things inflate in the virtual worlds. So I think it's a good idea if you don't need that money for anything right now. I mean, if you can wait 10 years for something to increase in value.
What you really need to do is find the area that you think is going to have all of the lounges and clubs and bars, because what's going to happen is people are going to come home from work, and instead of going out, they're going to go out virtually and meet people and date and want to go to the club and get some drinks. So you would be good owning a piece of real estate in that part of town, opposed to in the commercial district.
How hard is it to travel? I mean, the question becomes, how hard is it to travel in the metaverse? So, in other words, let's say that you bought in a bad part of town. Like, does it really take you 3 hours to commute?
No.
You see what I mean?
No.
So, I mean, it seems like...
But you don't want to get robbed. That's what I think people are worried about, is that there's going to be pirates, and there's going to be thugs and stuff. And you don't want to get robbed for your money. I see. But they're trying to put ways to not. I watched an interview. This was interesting. This lady she got a hotel room, and she basically spent 3 days in the metaverse and filmed it.
Yeah.
And it's really basic right now. Like people don't have legs right now.
Right.
Because they're not able to put them in yet because of the movement. So everyone's just kind of like a torso and a head, like their avatar.
Right.
And a lot of it is just like hanging out at like comedy clubs, playing virtual pool, like that kind of thing, and walking around.
Yeah.
She was getting very bad migraines from spending so many hours straight.
Yeah.
She'd do like 8 to 12 hours at a time.
Yeah.
And she was getting bad migraines. But it's just an interesting concept that you're going to be in this other world. And what I really want to know is, can you die? Like, can your avatar or you die in that world? And then you'd have to buy a new one.
I see. Well, I'm sure that they have. Maybe you can't die, but you can be arrested and be like banned. So in that sense, you can die. So you know what I'm saying? Like in other words, if you commit a crime, if you did something that was like not approved by the metaverse, your avatar would be banned from the metaverse.
Or you logged in and you're doing like hard time. So every time you log in, you're just like in a
jail.
jumpsuit, like,
Right?
behind some bars for your 8 hours.
Right. So I mean, that
People
would
would probably stay
right.
and do their time.
But that would be an option for prisoners. Like all the prisoners with nothing to do could go on to the metaverse because they have nothing else to do with their time, and they all have PlayStations anyways. You know, prisoners have PlayStations.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, you can't give them nothing to do. Otherwise, they come up with things to get into trouble with.
We got to get more spies in jail. Like, we got to get people to infiltrate the jails and then, like, you know what I mean? Come back with, like, the info, the intel.
Well, that's what I just watched this show called 60 Days In.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's an interesting show. So, like, they have these participants go in and basically pretend to be inmates. And they gather info. They gather info on, like, drugs. And they gather info on, like, who's bringing in what and things like that.
But the prisoners must know because they have to film it.
Right. Well, yeah, in most cases, they do tend to figure out. They're like, oh, you're 60 days in, aren't you? And you're 60 days in. So
they got to get smaller cameras. Like when you have a huge camera crews and like all this stuff and lighting, it's like, you know, I don't know. Prisoners, they have to be savvy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
If you choose that walk of life.
And they give them like the worst cover stories. They're like, I don't have a lawyer yet. I don't have a bond. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah, and they're all good. Like the prisoner's been through the system. They know all the appeals, the whole process or whatever.
Right.
And they're probably asking, well, how far along are you? And you're like, I don't know, but I'm in the big jail.
Right.
It's like, how'd you get to the big jail? You got to be back in the little jail.
Right.
Till you figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, no, I thought it's an interesting show too. It really shows that it doesn't matter where you are, money and things always control the community.
Yeah.
So like the idea of wealth or the bare necessities of having food, protection, power, you know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. It's just a human thing. It's like a human element.
It's a human element for the most part. Yeah, I would say so. But one thing that, all the participants, when they leave, because they leave early, a lot earlier than the other participants, they leave all that behind and they really do review their... Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay. Probably a fan calling in.
Yeah.
Tell them we're recording and we appreciate the update.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is they really appreciate their freedom when they get out, and they appreciate the ability to enjoy like nature and enjoy fresh air and not being told what to do.
Oh, yeah.
So there's also something to be said for just appreciating like the moment. You know,
Yeah.
so money and things are important, but also appreciating, just your freedom is something that's is something. And being in America, we definitely have a lot of freedoms that other countries don't have.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a very good point, because people should, and if anyone should get a message today, enjoy your freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really important, because it can be taken from you.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of the barbarians.
Right.
They come in and they take it. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right, this is Danny.
This is John.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, peace.